freedom, fate, fulfillment. These words embody the attitude Shoni Davis, known to many as Inohs Sivad, has adopted to fuel her life. They have become a declaration expressing her newfound feelings of empowerment. In the 2 years since the release of No Goodbyes in 2011, on which she paid tribute to and celebrated the life of her mother, Deborah Orr, who passed away from cancer in 2010, Inohs experienced life in a way that made her grow up like never before. Forward is the result of lessons learned, put to words and music with a sound that is simultaneously edgy and smooth. Her fourth CD in 10 years as an independent artist, Forward is the product of Inohs taking stock of her life, accessing her past, the bumps in the road, and the smooth turn. Feeling free of the baggage she carried for years, Inohs' insecurities were released, negative relationships let go, and bad habits fixed. Now she's embracing the freedom that accompanies growth. With that freedom came the safe place to contemplate her future with hopes of continuing to fulfill her dreams.
Welcome to the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and this is the show where we bridge gaps one story at a time. And today, we are talking with Shoni Davis. Now, most of you will probably know her as Inohs Sivad. Today, we're talking with Shoni. Shoni, thank you for joining us on the show.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Now, at the beginning of the show, your bio is read. So we know, all about you, your pertinence and all those things. But we really want to know, who is Shoni Davis at your core, at the essence of who you are? Who are you?
That's a good question. I think I am a person that is ever evolving. And I think it's important to have a full existence, that one must dive in, do the self-assessments, and be different from one day to the next. Understand the core of who you are, but make strides to be better or to get out of the comfort zone. And that's how I live my life. At least try to. My very best to constantly push myself out of my comfort zone.
Wow. Amazing. Now, you sound like to me that you're very self-aware. Were you always self-aware?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. From a child, I remember posing spiritual questions to myself, and posing them to the world and expecting answers, and finding myself disappointed with the answers that were given to me, which caused me to dig deeper and find my own truth. Find my own truth.
Now, you've been a musician and artist for most of your life.
No.
No, not you seem so seasoned. Like, your music it's melodic, it's soft, it's rock, it's hard, it's everything.
Thank you.
Where does that come from?
Good question. Another good question. I think it's a God-given talent and gift. It was a gift that came to me just before my 30s. So my late 20s, I grew up thinking and believing that I was an artist. Just, a fine artist. I won't say just a fine artist, but that was my interest. The fine arts. I'm a graphic artist by trade. And so that's how I defined myself up until a point in time where I became a little depressed. And things became dark for me. And it was after that, it was the music that helped me to climb out of that hole. So it started with a $50 guitar that I bought at a pawn shop. And I sat down and I mapped out my emotions note by note, and eventually chord by chord, and then the songs came, and then the lyrics came. So it was something that was very unexpected, but I think it was just brought to life by that dark period in my life. And so it's been on ever since then.
Wow. So one would say that you're multi-gifted because you're able to just pick up a guitar. You're also, if people don't know it, you're a graphic designer, graphic artist. Mm-hmm. You design your own T-shirts for your Iswear. Mm-hmm. How did that come about? How did you know that you had these underlying gifts? What happened for you to know that?
I didn't, and I still don't. It's I I no longer impose limits upon myself. I no longer define myself with words. I just do it. If there's something that interests me, then I just try it. I just try it. I just do it. And sometimes it works and other times it doesn't. But that has been the greatest lesson for me is you can surprise yourself if you just stop thinking about what you are, who you are, where you come from,
Right.
and just do it. We limit ourselves more than the world limits us.
Right, that's true. That's so very true. Now, growing up, some of us have, mothers who, push us in a certain direction or give us that knowledge of not to limit ourselves or you can be everything that you can be. Was your mother that type of woman?
She was. My mother was a force in my life. She didn't limit me. She didn't stifle my creativity. In fact, I think I was a little afraid. I was actually tremendously afraid of success. I would do things to sabotage. And I knew that I had the ability to do the things that were presented before me, but because I wanted to be normal, I didn't want to stand out, that I would shrink away from a lot of opportunities. But my mother pushed me. I'm naturally creative and have always been. And my mother, though, was very organized and analytical. We were two very opposite people. And as a teenager, I remember her very strong hand guiding me towards discipline. And out of that came a balance between the creative and the analytical. She had a very huge impact on the way that I navigate life. I try to see both sides of it, the creative and the practical.
Wow. Well, on that note, we're going to let that marinate just a little bit, and we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Shoni Davis here on the Conversations with Kai Mann show. And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and this is the show where we bridge the gaps one story at a time. And today we are talking with Shoni Davis. Most of you will know her as Inohs Sivad. Tell me. So we were talking a little bit before the break about your mother and her stern but steady hand guiding you. I read your bio, and you talk a little bit about freedom and fulfillment. Talk to me a little bit about those words and what they mean to you.
Well, where I am now, and I'm not afraid to, state my age. I'm in my 40s now. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for mental liberation. I absolutely want to abandon all stereotypes, all the things that, all the stereotypes that have held me back in the past. The stereotype that prevented me from believing that I can do rock music, that I can have that I can have multiple businesses, that I am beautiful. So that's kind of where I am now. I'm looking for that freedom from the bondage of my mind. And that's a gift that no one can take away from me.
Right.
That's a gift that continually gives and creates more opportunities for myself. I firmly believe there are physical and obstacles that challenge us all. Life is a challenge in itself. But I largely believe that it's really all about having a positive attitude. That is what helps us to overcome the obstacles of our day-to-day. Not to say that those things should be minimized.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that that largely a healthy attitude will help you overcome most challenges in life.
Right. You mentioned something that was so very important right before the break. You talked about self-sabotage. Most people do this and they are not even aware that they do it. Tell us maybe some of the ways that you would kind of self-sabotage yourself and what made you think, okay, I've got to stop doing this.
Largely believing that I'm unworthy of the opportunities that are presented to me, that I'm not the norm, that I'm not, the standard form of beauty, or I don't have the look of success. My background is not, I didn't come from a wealthy family or a well-to-do family. I came from a low-income, single-parent household. And so those thoughts of, and some of the things, and the stereotypes that are taught to us, that if you come from a lower income family, that maybe the opportunities won't be offered you. And the sabotage starts there, is buying into that. And so the challenge for me has been to overcome that, believe that, understand that that's not truth. It's not true, and that I deserve more than what I've been willing to accept. So that's the main ways that I've been overcoming my sabotage, or the self-sabotaging natures, that, believing that I don't deserve it, and I do deserve it. We all deserve it. We all deserve an opportunity to live the fullest life that we can live.
That's so true, and that's so beautiful the way that you put that as well. A lot of people, I've been watching, let's just say this, I've been watching a lot of like motivational speakers, and that's how I live my day. And I listened to this one gentleman. His name is Gary Vee.
Okay.
And he's not really what you would call a motivational speaker, but he talks about us being more or less self-aware. And he also speaks about how that the challenges that we face, we actually never really realize that those things that we face are the things that actually catapult us into where we need to be. They're actually like gifts, so to speak. So the things that we think, that we're sabotaging ourselves from, those are the things that actually are our gifts. Name some of the things that have been such a gift to you that you've recognized now, living this particular life that you live now.
I can generalize it.
Okay.
All things that are seemingly bad, those are the greatest opportunities. It gives you the greatest opportunity to redeem your character. And if you can confront it, if you identify what it is, it's an opportunity that ultimately can turn itself around and become the best thing that has ever happened to you. So that's what I tend to look for. I tend to look for those most challenging opportunities and know that I need to kick back and not sweat it.
Right.
Let God do it.
Right.
So.
That's it. Wow. Well, we're going to take a quick break. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann. And this, don't forget, is the show that we bridge the gaps, one story at a time. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
One of the things I've personally dealt with is domestic violence. Verbal, mental, and physical abuse are not okay. Name calling and belittling are just as damaging, if not more damaging, than an actual punch to the face. Every 9 seconds in the United States, a woman is either physically assaulted or beaten. And on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically assaulted by their intimate partner. It wasn't until I removed the layers and got to the core that my life changed. Protect one another. Love. Join the movement. #Get Naked.
Focus. The state or quality of having or producing clear definition. Focus One Entertainment is the premier videography company in the Midwest. We specialize in weddings, corporate events, documentaries, sporting events, and films. Regardless of the scope or budget, we approach every project the same way, by capturing and clearly defining your vision. Contact us at 313-444-3638 or www.focusoneEntertainment.com.
And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and today we are talking with Shoni Davis. During the break, you guys know how we do it. During the break, she and I were talking. I had to hurry up and get back from break because I wanted to talk about Shoni on Facebook. If anybody is really her friend on Facebook or her. You have a Facebook page as well, right?
I do. I have several.
She is hilarious, for one. She takes all these pictures, and they are amazing. I feel like I'm a part of your life, really.
Oh, that's dope.
I really do feel like I'm a part of your life. What makes you so authentic in what it is that you're doing, and why are you sharing so much with us?
One, I think my life is dope. To be perfectly honest, I have really good friends, and I've got a great husband. Our marriage is solid. It'll be 11 years in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I still like him. I just want to show joy. There's such the things that are shown on social media can be kind of dark and murky, and so I just think it's important to be a contrast. That I just want to show humor and love, and that's very much a part of my life. It's hard to even mask it, and I don't show everything, but life is funny, and the people in my life are hysterical, and I'm actually got a little sense of humor myself. But I think it's just important to show that, to show the love, to show the humor, to show all of that.
Right. I think the most important thing that you said is that your life was dope. I think we don't acknowledge that enough. I think we tend to walk around and we walk in the drudgery of it all instead of, even with everything that's going on around us. I remember I a couple weeks ago, I was on the phone with a customer service agent, and when she asked me how I was doing, I said phenomenal. And she said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, folks don't expect that. They're like, phenomenal, what's wrong with you? It's like, it's a funny thing that, people, when things are good in your life, people tend to think, well, what's wrong with you? What is it, like that's a bad thing?
Right.
But it's not. I mean, it's a great thing.
It is.
And I think we are conditioned to believe that it's not supposed to be good, that good is too good to be true, and that's not the case. I believe that I am a basic person. Some would argue against that, but I mean, when it comes down to the core of who I am, I breathe air, I eat food. I like to feel good. I want to be warm, and I want love, and I think I know everyone has those same feelings,
right?
Those same conditions that everybody wants a good life,
right?
I really do believe that. I hope so. I hope everyone wants a good life. But I work hard. I work very hard. I have money problems just like everybody else has. I have things that break down on me at inconvenient times. But really, it's all about the attitude. It's all about how you face it.
Right.
And that's what it's about, the attitude that makes one's life really good. If you think positively about yourself, if you think positively about your circumstances, I try to live a very balanced life where my aspirations are not to be a billionaire, and I'm not upset that I'm not a billionaire.
Right.
I'm happy with my means. I'm happy with. I live in a space of gratitude, and really that's really the big lesson. That's where I am in my life, is to be grateful for all things, because it's that gratitude that really balances everything out. It takes the edge off the bull and makes everything okay.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You are such an amazing spirit. I had the opportunity of just having a conversation with you, and I know for you, it was a day of your getting back from what you do, and I absolutely love the conversation because of the fact that you were just talking, you were just being you, and you were busy doing what you were doing, but you were just so genuine, and I could really feel it. So when we get back, we're going to talk about that genuine.
Absolutely.
This is Kai Mann. And this is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
One of the things I've dealt with was low self-esteem due to body image. Growing up, I thought I was a cute girl, but it wasn't until I was 11 or 12 that I noticed I wasn't built like the boys necessarily liked. My friends teased me for having a flat butt and a flat chest. Ultimately, this bruised my esteem. Did you know 44% of schoolgirls attempt to lose weight compared to only 15% of boys? And did you know 70% of girls ages 15 through 17 avoid normal daily activities, even like going to school, just because they feel bad about their looks? This type of negative self-thinking usually follows us into adulthood and affects our interpersonal relationships. It wasn't until I fell in love with me and accepted me for who I was that changed my life. Think and speak kindly of yourself. Join the movement. #Get Naked.
And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and today we are talking with Shoni Davis. It is wonderful talking with you. It really
it's great
is.
to talk to you as well.
You have been not only just showing us, your life on Facebook, you're also a musician. So you've been showing us what you guys have been doing, your practices. How has that been working out for you guys?
Pretty well. The response has been good. I love this group. We all have our crazy. That's real talk, folks. Crazy. But there's such a harmony when we play, and I've really grown to love them as my family. But it's been good. It's been an interesting melding of musical styles. My guitar player has a background of funk and soul, but moreover metal. So he puts the edge in there. And then my drummer, who is played with everyone, is very professional, very polished, very smooth. Yeah, 100. But he's such a dynamic player. He doesn't play the same thing twice, which is also very cool. And then we bullied our bass player, Cece. She's actually a keyboardist and she plays sax. But we bullied her into playing bass. And she is our anchor. She holds it down. And then I do whatever vocal acrobats I'm going to do over that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we have fun and we like the music that we're creating. It's meaningful. It's purposeful. It gives us a lift through the week. Sometimes it's that thing that one thing that just kind of pushes us over the hump. We all have very real lives with very real jobs, family obligations, kids, baby parent issues. We got all of that going, but we still have hope and light in the music.
Wow. And how much of music has really enforced who you are as a person?
I think it's one of the anchors in my life. It's the thing that kind of keeps me going. There's always a song in my head, and I've been singing more of late. But I like to think that the music that I listen to is the soundtrack to my life. The music that I create is an additive to the soundtrack, not only to my life, but hopefully others. I hope that it's insightful and it encourages growth and self-assuredness and all that kind of thing. But that's what I look for. That's what keeps me going. The music.
Okay. So we've talked about, a little bit about the music, but in life, who keeps you honest?
My husband. He absolutely keeps me honest. And he's a funny man. He's a crazily intelligent man, but he's very, very funny and very loving. Early in our relationship, and it was like the first time that had ever happened to me where he would ask me outright, how we doing? Are we okay? And, it's like, well, and so we have that conversation. We talk about our issues. We talk about our plans and our dreams. And so in order to have that conversation, I had to have something to contribute. And so, it further caused me to soul search and deep. But he definitely keeps me honest. And he keeps me loving and humble and grateful. But he also revs me up. The dynamic in our relationship is that he is the high energy one, and I'm kind of like the cool one, if you can imagine that. But kind of like the balance. But he causes me to fly, to dream and to hope for more, and to really enjoy all aspects of life, the simple things. Wow. And then I give him the grounding and the stability and all of that, and the love and the nurturing and all of that. So, but that's a very honest relationship. Also, my best friend of 20 years, Auntie Daniel, just my girl for life, forever and ever.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We'll have more of Shoni Davis as soon as we get back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann. And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and we are talking with Shoni Davis about everything. We're talking about life, love, music, just self-awareness, everything. What has been the one thing that has happened in your life that has been probably the most important?
The loss of my mother. That was massive. Very, very difficult. I mean, obviously, I'm stating an obvious thing, but I was my mother's only child, and she was my everything for many, many years, even well into my adulthood, and her absence created a real void, but it also empowered me to live. Through her, and she was, again, such a force. I saw the fragility of life, but I also saw the ownership of death and how to face it. Get your stuff in order. Death is a part of the conversation. That's a part of life. All things must end. And so in experiencing her transition, I also solidified my beliefs of my own mortality and how it's important to live every day to the fullest, because you don't know what may happen. You might get in a car accident and you end up maimed, but you're still alive, but you're maimed, and how do you deal with that? And I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but my goal is to live every day well, and to treat everyone with respect and love, and expect it in return. And generally, I find if you present it up front first, it does come back around. I've gotten out of some pretty nasty situations just with kindness and a smile. And so, yeah, it was her life and death that really solidified who I am today. And that was 6 years ago. She passed.
How has maybe that experience changed the way that your music, has it evolved in a different way?
Absolutely. It developed an edge because for a while I was angry, very, very angry. And the guitar, second to my voice, was my main instrument. That's what I started with, and so I began to revisit, though I'm not playing it as much, but that'll be changing soon. I hear you, DC. I know. I'm going to start playing again. Though that's going to change, but I thought it was important to reintroduce that, because the way that I view music is a form of emotional expression. Every instrument caters to a specific mood or feeling, and we generally associate rock guitar with anger, and yeah, that's important, and that there's a truth in that, but it also signifies intensity, passion, power, and those are themes that I'm exploring more in my music. Personal empowerment, viewing oneself differently, transformation. I don't know that everyone in my fan base has embraced it yet, and they may not. And I get that. There are certain artists that I listen to that started out one way and transitioned into something else. But I also have to respect my own musical inclinations. I have to continue to grow musically, and so for me it means exploring new sounds. So there's still that smooth melodic thing, and I think that's important. But it's also got that edge, which I want to party a little bit. I want to feel good about my life. So that's where I am with the music.
Awesome. And why don't you tell us, really quickly before we go to break, where they can actually find your music?
Yeah. You can find most of my music on the digital retailers, iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby. But my new record, it's going to be a double release, will be available only from my website, which is inohsivad.com, and it'll probably be put up down here below. Okay. And it'll be available for download. I may press some units up, but that's really not how the world is getting their music. But inohsivad.com is where you can find the latest record. It's called what is it called?
Evolution.
Oh, thank you. You know I forgot.
Like evolution?
It's called Evolution. Thanks, Kai.
You're welcome. Well, on that note, we will go to break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show.
need a child.
Focus One Entertainment is Detroit's premier entertainment company. But we're not just an entertainment company. We are your #1 multimedia resource. Focus One has combined years of talent and experience in order to bring you what you're looking for in a video, a polished professional product. F1 Entertainment specializes in filming workshops, seminars, and corporate presentations. More and more businesses are utilizing video production services to create web virtuals, online marketing content, and promotional and corporate training videos. Your company can do the same with Focus One Entertainment. Contact Focus One Entertainment at 313-444-3638 or visit us on the web at www.focusoneentertainment.com.
And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann. And again, we are sitting here talking with Shoni Davis, the multi-talented Shoni Davis. Now, you also have a brand called Iswear.
Correct.
Talk to us a little bit about how that came about.
Well, Iswear was born from my music.
Mm-hmm.
It's a loose play on Inohs Sivad, but it was originally intended to be my merchandise line for the music.
Mm-hmm.
And but I thought, well, that's too small, and I want it to be self-sustaining and have its own life. And so I made it less about me and the music and more about the state of of being. And so it's just going over pretty well. This is really our second year at it, and it continues to grow. We're continuing to add products, not just t-shirts, but the goal is to create products that are useful to people, to remind them to be their best self. So we've got some really beautiful ceramics that are handmade by a local artist, and we've got positive, well-designed t-shirts printed on very nice shirts. Thank you very much.
That's important.
That's important. That's important in the t-shirt business. It's important. And also we're adding other products to add value. We have laser engraved earrings. We've got a client of mine, a graphic client of mine, designed a hairbrush and designed a beard comb.
Wow.
It was wooden. It's a wooden beard comb. Very, very lovely. Has a nice curve and everything. Nice shape. So I'm adding that to the table. So the opportunities are coming more frequently with Iswear, and I'm happy with its growth so far.
Awesome. So tell us where the name Inohs Sivad comes from.
I honestly don't remember anymore. It's been so long. I think the notion was to kind of retain some sort of privacy, so I wanted to create a moniker that would separate my real life from my stage life. And so I just started toying with things, and I just thought, I'm going into this backwards. Let's leave with a backwards name. So I think that was the spirit of which Inohs Sivad was born, just to flip my name around, and it could have its own life, and while I maintain my own.
Wow, that's amazing. So, in the spirit of music and being sort of what I would call kind of eclectic, tell us something or give us something, maybe some words from a song that would give us something that kind of resonates with Iswear.
The song which I kind of took it from, which is actually called Eyes Open Wide, I walk into my new life. I face the world as is.
Wow. So listen, people. If this is your first time meeting Inohs Sivad, Shoni Davis, please make sure that you grab her music. Please make sure that you look her up at her website, Inohs Sivad, Inohs sivad.com. Make sure that you do that. Now, I wanted to talk to you for a specific reason because of the fact that your spirit is so dope. You just embody dopeness. You're an amazing person. But what I think most about you is that your authenticity is what really draws me to you. How did you become in a space where authenticity was just you? It was just what you became, what you lived, what you wanted to be, what you wanted to exude.
I think it just made the most sense to me. Pretense never worked for me. And so honesty and authenticity just seemed to make the most sense. It just I noticed how people react and respond to authenticity. I mean, it just kind of it diffuses a lot of the BS. And if I can be real, if I'm not being pretentious, then maybe the person that I'm engaging will be the same way, and we can have a conversation. And I think ultimately, you know, the things the things that I've devoted myself to, graphic arts and specifically, is a form of communication. And so as I'm trying to develop identities for people, it's important to break down the pretense so I can get to the core of who you are as an individual, so that I can create the art around your company or your personality. So it's reinforced by my profession, but also it works for me personally.
Awesome. Well, why don't you in our last few minutes tell us about everything that you do, so that everyone can reach out to you if they need you as a graphic designer, as a singer, to have you come to their event or whatever.
Okay. Well, you got the Inohs which is for my music. There is Iswear, which is is-wear, wear.com. for Iswear products. And if you need graphic services, you can reach me at, and here's a long one now, soundthoughtgraphics.com. The site needs a little work, and I'm ashamed that I am a graphic artist and my website looks as it does, but you can reach me there. You can send me a message, and I'll happily get back with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You are quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Thanks again. This has been the Conversations with Kai Mann show, and our lovely guest, Shoni Davis. Make sure you guys check her out. If you don't, I'll be coming to get you. Make sure you check her out. She's amazing. She's dope. She's everything. Again, this is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I am your host, Kai Mann. Don't forget to check us out next week, Wednesday.